Hi, everyone. This is Kevin Lynch from Westminster Wealth Management, and I'm doing a Social Security presentation for 2022 because there are a couple of things that are a little different, and I wanted to make sure I shared this as soon as into the year as we could. But firstly, I just thought I'd give you this little brain teaser. In life, would you rather be early or delayed, or pay a penalty or get a bonus? And you'll see what I mean as I go through the presentation, what I mean by those. Like I said, my name is Kevin Lynch. I have a broker-dealer named First Heartland Capital. It's a disclosure I have to give you. And again, I'm going to talk about what boomers need to know about their retirement income. So the problem that I see out there, and I see it again and again and again when people come in to meet with me, people are hurting their retirements by making terrible, costly decisions about their Social Security. So there is a handout there that I can give to you. I know you're listening to this on a webinar. Certainly, if you'd like a copy, I can mail it out to you. But I give these out for anyone who comes and attends my seminars. Things to know about Social Security. And by the way, there's plenty to know about Social Security. But let's just talk about a couple. So you have many claiming options. In fact, if you're a couple out there, you probably have over 4,000 claiming options that you could possibly choose from to claim your Social Security. So here's the question: which one is right for you? Yes, exactly. Well, that's what I help folks with when I do this Social Security analysis. Decisions have far-reaching consequences. I have seen situations where couples come in and says, yeah, we both collected at 62. We really didn't think the system was going to be around. Well, I can tell you, I've seen situations like that where they claimed at 62 versus claiming in the optimal strategy they could claim in, and they've left over $180,000 on the table. Over $180,000. So the choice will impact both spouses. System is not bankrupt, nor is it a Ponzi scheme. Benefits likely help the family member of yours and mine. And lastly, your friends aren't experts. I've heard clients come in and say, my brother-in-law told me I really should just collect at 62. And I'm sitting there listening, and I said, oh, well, what does your brother-in-law do? He says, well, he's a plumber. And I said, well, what experience does he have with Social Security? Well, he collected his own at 62, so he told me I should do that. I would recommend that you go and talk to someone who has a lot of experience with these claiming strategies. Not your brother-in-law who's the plumber, okay? I hope, and by the way, I don't mean to insult any plumbers out there. I just had one at my home 2 days ago. They have a purpose and they're very professional. Just I wouldn't ask for their advice or get their counsel on how best to claim my Social Security benefit. Just kind of where it is. All right. So what boomers want to know, not an exhaustive list, but here's a good start. Firstly, will it be there for me? Will I be able to collect my Social Security check? How much can I expect to receive? In other words, what goes into the formula? I think that's important. And I think it's important because if you know how they arrive at the formula, you know how you can impact your benefit. When should I apply? I get that question a lot, and there's a lot of analysis that goes into it. There's a lot of things you want to think through. And to that point, no two people are the same. No couple is the same. What's right for one couple may not be right for someone else. It really depends on what has occurred in your life. How can I maximize my benefits? Again, that goes into the formula. If you understand the formula, you understand some ways that you can actually maximize your benefits. And will Social Security be enough to live on in retirement? Well, I don't think so. In fact, roughly speaking, Social Security will make up about 30% of your retirement income if you live here in these United States. And I should put that caveat out there. If you look to retire in the United States, definitely Social Security will not be enough to retire on. If you move to another country, I'm going to say, the Dominican Republic or something like that, certainly I think Social Security would be a big part of your income stream in an environment where the costs aren't what they are here in the States. So that's what I would say to that. But overall, no, Social Security will not be enough to retire on. But get what's your due. Get the most out of the system as you possibly can. Okay, understanding the value. Well, will it be there for me? Well, this is why people are even questioning that. And, the OASDI, that's the Old Age Survivors Disability Income Trust, that's the original name for Social Security. I'm just going to give some facts and figures. The trust balance was 2.8 trillion. We had a bunch in 2020, these are the latest numbers I have. I know we're sitting here in January of 22, but these are the latest numbers I have. In 2020, we had more coming into the system than going out. A very interesting thing happened, though, in April, May of 2021, and that's more was going out than coming in. So it's begun to kind of change the tide here a little bit. And the reason for that is quite simple. We have, 10,000, 11,000 baby boomers turning 65 a day here in the US. And it's a pace that's going to continue for a number of years. Now, it doesn't mean all those people are collecting Social Security, but they're all in line to. Combine that with the fact that demographically, people are having less children to feed into the system. You can see where there's kind of a buildup of a snowball effect in what's happening to the system. In fact, without some type of reform, it is projected that benefits will fall 78% in 2034. In other words, where it's paying out a full dollar today, it's only going to pay out 78 cents. So if we don't do some type of reform, everyone is going to take a quote unquote haircut with regard to their Social Security benefit. And a lot of people rely on this benefit. Now, that said, what are they looking at doing? Well, one is they're looking to increase the max earnings subject to Social Security tax. So right now that number sits at $147,000. So what does that mean? Well, if you make more than $147,000, you basically are getting a pay raise. Why is that? Well, you no longer pay the 6.2% that you do as an employee into the Social Security system. They're talking about taking that ceiling off, and no matter what you make, you would basically contribute to the system. Second thing there is not a new item. In the Reagan administration, this occurred. They actually changed the full retirement age for those born 1960 and later. So if you were born in 1960, your full retirement age is now 67. It was 66. Now it's 67. So they've put this in place once before. So I fully expect, number two, that I have there, I think they're going to change the full retirement age again. And, pick the year. You're born in 1990 and later. Well, your full retirement age is now 68. And actually, I think what's going to happen is that it isn't just going to go up by an incremental year. They're going to change it where your full retirement age becomes age 70. So that's what I think will happen. So 1 and 2, I think, are definite possibilities as far as how they reform the system. Third, lower benefits for future retirees, obviously not real popular. And then fourth, reduced cost of living adjustments. Well, there have been years where the cost of living adjustment has been zero with Social Security. It is not a guarantee that you get the increase. So there's been zeros out there. So I think that this is a strategy here, legitimate reforms that they're looking at. I will say this, you're not going to hear a lot about Social Security reform, I would say, in the coming 5 years. Why? Well, because I just said 2034 is when it's deemed to have only 78% of the benefits paying out. And, a typical fashion in politics in Washington, well, that's someone else's watch. That's not the watch today. We have plenty of other issues today that we have to address. That being said, the sooner we take action on this, the less drastic the action needs to be. So I would like to see them change some of the things sooner than later, but that's beyond the scope of my explanations here. But that would be ideal if they could do that.